Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special bonus reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information on my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Scorpio, I hope that you're doing well. This reading is all about the blockages that you are currently experiencing in your life and how Spirit wants to assist you in revealing what those blockages are and some intuitive guidance on how to tackle it. I'm going to be using 2 decks for your reading today. The first one is the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Oracle deck, and then the Pulp Tarot for your tarot reading. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Let's see, Scorpio. So, okay. The word is Cerberus. Cerberus, and the Guardians, number 9. That's pretty intense. I mean, right away, it reminds me of the 3 dogs in Harry Potter. What were they protecting? It was the first Harry Potter, right before they went into the chess room. Oh, I guess it was the Sorcerer's Stone, whatever. The 3 dogs. The thing about the 3 dogs was that you had to kind of lull them to sleep, if I remember correctly, by like playing music, playing a flute, playing some kind of instrument. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, there's something to that. I thought that was really ridiculous that I brought it up, but then it's not. There's something to that. When I said lull to sleep, okay, there could be some big fears that you've been having that have been keeping you up at night. I mean, we're all adults here because all of my readings are geared towards 18 and over, so I can say we're all adults here. Adults have nightmares too. The number 9 references the Hermit card. The Hermit is a character of the tarot that retreats within themselves. It's Virgo energy. And when we retreat within ourselves, we kind of look at all our traumas and our triggers and the things that scare us. Ways we've identified things in our lives that help to, shape who we are, and, some of those narratives we might have told ourselves could have been detrimental to us. The word here, though, is guardians. So it's kind of like talking about, to me, this feels like the ego. The same way that the ego in our psyche is, it's meant to protect us, but an overblown ego can look like narcissism and this sense that we can't trust people. We're always on the defensive. This is almost like the guardian of your heart, because there are a lot of things I think that people don't see about your life that might be haunting you, and it's a major blockage. I think with the number 9 referenced here at the Hermit card, that it's important that you face your fears directly, whether in prayer or meditation or through some kind of mental health avenues, whatever feels right and proper for you, to not let them simmer inside anymore, right? Because it's almost like the storm is brewing, the embers are floating, and it's just like everything's under the surface. you got to be careful with stuff like that too, because if it's really close to the surface, it could come out in the form of an argument or lashing out at somebody that may not deserve that. So I'm going to get 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier. There's no past, present, or future. It's just a general message from your guides on how to overcome these blockages. It's almost like your ego is there to protect you, but it's almost keeping you in a little, it's keeping you prisoner. It's keeping you prisoner. You got 1 extra card. The extra card is the High Priestess, number 2 of the Major Arcana. High Priestess is Pisces energy, and it talks about somebody, well, it's a water sign energy, but it talks about somebody who sits at the veil between worlds, this world and the spiritual world. They understand how to connect on a spiritual level, they connect to their psyche and intuition, their psychic abilities, their psychic harnessing. They understand how to do this. You are definitely, in all the water signs have High Priestess energy, of course. I'm a Cancer, so of course we do. But for you, the Spirit just gave me that expression, still waters run deep, to describe the Scorpio. Still waters run deep. The sense that we can't always trust what we see on the surface. You intuitively know that about others. I can see with the High Priestess. You can read others like a book. Like, you watch their behavior, you watch their actions, you watch their demeanor. What they say is just as important as what they don't say. You got all that covered, Scorpio. Can you turn that spyglass around and look at yourself with the same level of discernment? That is the challenge. That is the blockage, right? I mean, it's literally in your way. The first 2 cards we have here are the 5 of Pentacles in reverse and the 8 of Cups. Pentacles is earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And this card talks about being left out in the cold, left behind, or the sense of being left behind, abandoned, forgotten, misunderstood, overlooked. Spirit just said, I was like, there's one more, overlooked. So I see this picture of this woman here. She's holding a baby. It reminds me of a very specific scene from a very specific mini-series from many years ago. It was a British version. Well, I think they're all British, but it was a PBS version of Jane Eyre. And it had Ruth Wilson and Toby Stevens. A fantastic, I might watch that later. A fantastic version of Jane Eyre. But there's a scene in Jane Eyre where she's having like abandonment issues, right? Jane Eyre, if you know the story, she was an orphan. She was orphaned. And she was put into a boarding school. She finally meets Mr. Rochester, the famous Mr. Rochester, this rich dude who needs a governess for his ward. They fall in love. I don't think that's a spoiler alert, but you know, he's always going away on trips and stuff, and so she has these like nightmares because she has abandonment issues, which are understandable. One of them is a dream that she's on the outside of the estate where she lives. She's on the other side of the fence, She's got a baby in her arms, and she sees him on the other side with another woman, and she's rattling on the gate. Let me in, let me in. This is, I don't know why I had to say all of that to you. Maybe Jane Eyre could be significant, but I had to say it because I couldn't not see it in my mind. This banging on the gate, let me in, let me in. You got this card in reverse though. I don't know if you were ever let in, but I do know that you're walking away from it. You're walking away from something that isn't meant for you. Could be really disappointing, Scorpio. Really disappointing. But then I think you have to ask yourself, right? Why are we, the collective we, why do we struggle so much with trying to fit in? We are social creatures. That makes sense. Like, we want to have friends and people that support us, absolutely. But when you meet a lot of resistance in a relationship or an interpersonal dynamic, like if you say hi to the same person every day and they just look through you like you're invisible, why do you keep saying hi? Now, one school of thought is, I don't care if they say hi back to me. I know who I am, and I'm a friendly person, and I'm going to say hi to everybody that I meet, everybody that I see. That's fine. That's a certain kind of person, right? You have confidence in yourself, and you don't need that other person to affirm your position, right? Like, I work in a building with like over 400 employees, and I'm a leader in that place, and so I'm also very introverted, but I am a leader in that place, and so I say good morning, good afternoon, hello, some version of all of that to every single employee, or at least I try to, if I'm not like running down the hall in some kind of crisis or whatever. I always say good morning. I can't tell you how many times I get ignored or they just don't care to speak to me. And it annoys me, but it doesn't hurt me in any way, because I'm just like, okay, maybe they're listening to their headphones. Maybe they don't give two craps about it. I don't care. I'm a leader in this building. I set an example. My example is to be hospitable and friendly because I've been trained to be that way. And that training puts me in the same position in life. In any building that I walk into, I say, good morning, how are you? Thank you. It's my pleasure, blah, 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 right? I work in hospitality, so, I mean, it's one of those things. So, what I'm saying here is that when we meet a lot of resistance, we can either go that one path where we're like, I don't care if they say hi back. I'm going to say hi because that's what I do, and I like to be that person. And if they're not friendly or they're antisocial, whatever, that's on them. That's not on me. But then there's the other side of that, which could be, well, why didn't they say hi to me? Do I smell funny? Do I have something on my face? You know, do they hate me? Right? That's the very dramatic version. There are some people that are like that. Which person are you? Spirit is asking. Where do you fall into that line of affirmation, perhaps? What I see here, though, is that there's some part of you that's just like drawn the line in the sand, because I see you walking away from it. I see you not really tolerating that feeling, and I see you walking away from something that doesn't serve you, which I think is, personally, I think is great. You're just like, I don't need to deal with that. It took me a minute to get there because I was in my feelings a little bit, feeling left out, but not anymore. The next two cards I see are really beautiful. The Lovers and the Queen of Cups. I mean, this is gorgeous. The Lovers energy, number 6 of the major arcana, Gemini. And the Queen of Cups, that's Cancer energy. It's love. It's a love feeling, a love for others, a love for self, a love for what we do, a love for who we are. This is, both these cards together, especially, super high vibrational. Like, really not letting anybody, I don't know why I'm being made to say this, but I'm just going to say it. You're not letting anybody yuck your yum. Have you ever heard that expression? I hate that expression. But Spirit said it so clearly in my mind that I have to say it. When you, like, let's say you love Indian food and I don't like Indian food, and I say to you, ew, Scorpio, like, how can you eat that? It seems so disgusting. And a mutual friend of ours looks at me and says, honey, don't yuck their yum. They think it's yummy. Don't put your yucky on top of it and take away their joy. Don't yuck somebody's yum, right? I don't know where that expression ever came from, but like, I hate it. But Spirit, maybe it's something that you say, and if it is, I really hope that you're laughing at me right now, because that's pretty funny. But it's this sense that when we are vibing in high vibration, when we are vibing high, our frequency is high, our self-love and our love for others is high. No, we're not going to let anybody ruin our parade, rain on our parade. How dare they? This is kind of a strange image, though, I have to tell you. Just the way she's sitting. I think she has a cup of tea in her hands, and she's like staring at a place on the floor. It's like when somebody has a cup and they're just like in quiet contemplation, but you know there's 1,000 thoughts going on up there. This is kind of, I'm honing in on that for a reason. Like, you outwardly are in the space of calm, but there's a lot going on in your brain. There's a lot going on in your brain. But you're staying in a space of gratitude, I think. Pursuing things that mean something to you, perhaps people, a relationship. This is a very dramatic depiction of like Tarzan, right? The king of the jungle or whatever. This is a very funny deck, the Pulp Tarot. The damsel in distress. So, you know what it feels like? It feels like she's watching TV and this is what's on TV. So it's like she's watching it, but it's not on TV. It's like you're watching something in your life play out. I'm going to ask for a clarifier because I don't know what that's about. What is this about? The Lovers and the Queen of Cups. Thank you. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Number 10 of the Major Arcana. The Wheel of Fortune is about good luck, good fortune, and divine timing. When the card is in, it's a great card. Very powerful. When the card is in reverse, it's kind of like something is not yet fully realized. Some windfall or big energy for you is not quite here yet. But in the meantime, you are in a space of gratitude. And focusing on the things that matter is what Spirit wanted me to say. You're trying your best to focus on the things that matter, but I still see this preoccupation in her mind. Like, there is a lot going on in the background programming of your life right now. Almost like you're keeping something at bay. You gotta be careful, though. It's almost more exhausting to try and tamp down the fear, right? Or hold it back behind a flimsy door. rather than to just open the door face and say, what are you going to do? I see you, and I'm not afraid anymore. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. It's not like that. It's not easy like that. But it could be, for some of you, it could be as easy as that. I understand. I see this trauma, and I'm not afraid anymore. I'm going to deal with it. The last two cards out, Five of Wands in the reverse, Knight of Cups in reverse. The Five of Wands in the upright talks about competition, conflict, and chaos. Kind of fighting ourselves, right? There is a level of training and preparation, and almost like we're gearing up for a fight. We're fortifying ourselves by doing these mock exercises. So that's kind of what this card is literally about. But for me as a reader, it talks about like fighting against yourself. The Knight of Cups, kind of a little bit of a Casanova. Knights are people of action. They take action, and they have something genuine to offer, to say, to bring. The Knight of Cups is somebody who is very authentic with their gesture of love, but you got these two cards in reverse. So, you know, I brought up like abandonment issues earlier, and I feel as though there's some situation here that you're not really going to entertain because you don't trust it. So I don't know if this is a love offer for you, because now Spirit's really bringing my eye back to the High Priestess. It's like there's something in your instinct that is telling you not to trust it. Not to trust this person that is approaching you. Because whatever it is that they have to say, whatever it is that they have on offer, it's like not authentic. I'm going to ask for a clarifier. Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like they're offering the world, because I asked for a clarifier on this inauthentic message. It doesn't have to be a love interest. It could be a job offer or something. Like they're promised the world, but it might just be kind of illusory. Ten of Pentacles is like very firm foundation, a lot of stability, a lot of abundance, a lot of good finances, happy home, happy life. But it's clarifying the Knight of Cups in reverse. I don't like this, because it's somebody who's promising a lot and not delivering. Ten of Wands in reverse. It might be more of a burden to you than you are wanting. You don't want to pick up any more burden. When the Ten of Wands is in reverse, it's like we're unable to put a burden down. So Spirit is saying, consult your intuition. Make the decision that's best for you based on what you feel. Look at the evidence. Look at the problem that is right in front of you. Deal with that. I'm going to read from the book, number 9. Cerberus, develop strong and healthy boundaries. You should respect the boundaries of others. Not all places or people are for you or should be available to you. Exercise and expect loyalty. Oh, these are the dogs, the gates of the underworld. Isn't that funny too? That I have never read from this book. I use my oracle cards very intuitively. This is I think the first time I've ever read from the book. So I was talking about the gates. There's something to it. Remember the gates in Jane Eyre, banging on the gates? Let me just read the rest of it, because now I want to... At the gates of the underworld there lies a large hound. He yawns, 3 yawns, for he has 3 massive heads. The hound sniffs the air and turns languidly to see his master, Hades, walking towards him. The hound rises and stretches and happily rubs each of his 3 heads on his beloved master's body. His spiked tail wags. Hades pats the head of his guardian at the gates, knowing all will be well. Cerberus is watching. It's very long. I want to read the whole thing. Think about, if you've ever seen Harry Potter, think about what happens after they pass through these gates where the 3-headed dog is, right? Ron, Hermione, and of course Harry go on this epic quest for the Sorcerer's Stone. They are the only ones that can save Hogwarts over and over and over. It's this sense here that once you get past these gates, there's going to be a part of you that has to prove your mettle, but you're not proving it to anybody but yourself. But it first starts with dealing with the fear head on. That's your reading, Scorpio. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Scorpio.